Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I want to talk about all this craziness with the PlayStation 5. There's been a lot of news breaking, some crazy leaks, and just some really interesting information. For me, I'm kind of excited, but at the same time I'm not, because are we ready for this? You know what I'm saying? The PlayStation 4 came out, about 5 years ago now? And maybe for some it's run its course, but for me, man, I still have a ton of games. A ton that I still haven't gotten to, man. Some embarrassingly, if I were to admit, like I haven't played these games, but I bought them day one. But I have so many of them, and I don't know if by the time the PlayStation 5 comes out, if I'm gonna even be able to catch up or not. So I want to look at some of these rumors and leaks, because some of this stuff is really intriguing. So Ruthenic Cookie, he is a Reddit user and has been breaking a lot of news. He was the one who broke the news that Sony is actually not attending E3 next year. But there's a lot more details concerning it. So he's been putting out some information from what he knows, or however he's getting this info. But he's stating that, they left E3 next year to focus on the PS5. And they're going to be focusing a lot of that time and effort, and they're going to do their own event, the PlayStation Experience event, sometime later in the year, mid next year or whatever. And that's when they'll really showcase the stuff they're working on. But this thing, man, so this article right here, they're talking about how it's going to be rumored to use an 8-core Ryzen CPU and cost about $500. If you remember way back when the PS3 came out, that bad boy was $600. But $500 at this time, and when this is supposed to come out, I mean, we got a lot of time to save up our pennies, man. Cash in those cans, whatever you got to do. Drive for Uber and make, $5 an hour or something. I don't know. But you got time to save up some money to be able to buy one of these if you want. And there's some interesting details these guys are talking about. They're saying this is all stuff from Ruthenic Cookie. That's what all these articles, if you find any of these articles and they're not crediting him, he's the one who's putting out this information. But most of the articles I've seen have given him credit. So he's saying it's going to be 4K, 60 frames per second stable, and at the same time, going to be a monster. Going to feature that Ryzen 8 core, which aligns, like they said, with previous rumors. But back in April, it was claimed that the console would also use a custom GPU based on AMD's upcoming Navi architecture. And he also mentions that a lot of the developers, they already have dev kits. So a lot of people are working on stuff. Square Enix, they have some stuff coming up that is being touted as AAA games. So, and that's been found out from, people's LinkedIn user accounts who work for Square, stuff like that. A lot of craziness. And they're also saying, and I don't quite understand this part, that Ruthenic Cookie says that 3 big upcoming PS4 titles, Death Stranding, which I'm really excited for, even though, man, Silent Hills would have been dope, but come on, Konami, what the hell's wrong with you guys? The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghosts of Tsushima will all be PS5 launch titles. We still don't know if backwards compatibility will be present, but it seems a safe bet. I don't want to make any assumptions with that, because seriously, backwards compatibility is going to be something I think is going to be fairly important going forward. It's always been important, but not every company has adopted that. With so many excellent games for the PS4 and so many games coming out, I mean, and then the PS5 not being that far away, coming out in 2020, that's not even 2 years away, depending on when, upon when it comes out. Could be a year and a half away. I don't know for sure, but backwards compatibility, please. So with those titles, like, are they going to be like PS5 exclusives, or like Death Stranding? Is it just scrap the PS4 version? Or the PS4 versions are still coming out, right? And they're just going to have PS5 versions? Or maybe the PS5 will upscale or have something going on to play the PS4 versions? That's a question that I hope gets answered as time moves on. So additionally, they state the PlayStation VR is also getting a successor. I love the PlayStation VR. I had one since launch, and I was really impressed with a lot of the games. The resolution of the screen, not that amazing, but still a fun, immersive experience depending upon the game. So I'm really curious to see where this leads, because I don't know that the PSVR has been necessarily a success. They keep dropping the price. There's a lot of Black Friday deals for it, and a lot of people are talking about jumping into it, and I think that's pretty sweet, because there's a lot of cool games for it. But what they're saying is that the current version's breaker box is going to be moved inside the console. So the console is going to be PSVR ready from the sounds of it. PSVR will have a built-in camera. Wonder how that's going to work. Moreover, new PS Move controllers are in development. Hopefully they're better than the ones we got. But they're also saying that they're testing. Man, I'm slipping on my words here, guys. They're testing virtual reality gloves. That could be interesting. Something that you wear that the camera recognizes and you could pick stuff up. I mean, that would be kind of cool. You know, I don't know. I mean, not pick up real stuff, but pick up stuff in the game without having to have a little glowy ball. I mean, that could be a step in the right direction, kind of making things a little more accessible. But then if you're wearing gloves, how do you actually move your character around? Like, you would need to have some kind of controller. So I don't know how these gloves would work, but it's pretty interesting. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Who knows how it's going to look? All these people have these weird little images up, but at the same time, you know, with these cool specs and the unique features, like I said, I really hope backwards compatibility is in there. They said it's a given, you know, pretty much a given, but I don't want to say that because it's hopeful. But some of these companies don't really realize that that's important to a lot of people. If we're going to jump into the PS5 and there's some awesome ass exclusives, it has PSVR compatibility built into it, you know, and then however the PSVR version 2 or PSVR 2, whatever it's called, when that comes out, hopefully it's reasonably priced, because if you're paying $500 for this system with what's included, I could see the cost, you know, being of value. But for some, you know, options that are out there right now, everything's kind of trickled down in price. And, you know, you kind of get stuck. That's where my mentality is right now. I'm kind of stuck with the current price points of systems, even though at the same time, you know, the systems have dropped. They were, you know, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One were close to this price upon launch. Now they're, you know, hovering around that $200 to $300 price range, depending upon if things are on sale. And then the Pro version, Xbox One X, all that craziness. I don't know. I mean, it's just, for me, it's kind of, is it too soon? Should have we expected a longer life cycle for this system? Because the system's still cranking out some awesome games and they look beautiful. Where do we go from there? I mean, photorealism? I think you know, a lot of people want to see that. And that's been something that I remember having, you know, conversations with friends over the years, and, oh man, games at one point, they're going to look so realistic. Is that what we really want? I play games to escape realism. You know what I mean? And it's cool to see some games that have that cinematic look and feel to them. But at the same time, I mean, you don't need this kind of power to do some of these games. You know, some of the stuff like that's on the Nintendo Switch that a lot of people dig. Nintendo's always going to be underpowered compared to everybody else because the aesthetic of the core games that are made for it definitely don't need that power. PlayStation, you know, it's not that they're just putting out games that are, you know, so realistic it's crazy, but they do have a lot of, you know, realistic styles, if you want to, you know, say that as far as graphics go. But at the same time, you know, there's tons of games that don't need that. There's tons of genres that don't need that. And this power, hopefully it could be utilized for other things, you know, faster loading, stuff like that. Just little tricky programming things, you know, would be cool. We'll have to see how things are implemented. But, you know, with a new system being announced, all these leaks, I mean, it's not really announced, but with all these leaks that are leading to an announcement, I have to say, I mean, I'm not super excited. You know, I was super excited with the PS2 and the PS3, don't get me wrong. The PS4, I was excited as well, but I think it kind of died a little bit. My excitement kind of trickled down a little bit. Is that because of my age? Is that because of having a family? I don't know. I mean, I enjoy gaming a lot, and I still play a lot of current generation stuff. I have all the systems, and I do play them. But my tastes have definitely changed a little bit with games and my time that I have to dedicate. I still play a lot of retro games on all my retro systems, projects that I deal with as far as playing old school stuff. I mean, that's a lot of fun to me, but I'm still, you know, I embrace the future. I want to see what the future holds, and seeing stuff like this is exciting, but at the same time, is this going to be something I'd wait in line for? Is this something I'm going to put my money down on once pre-orders go live? I don't know that I can say that right now. I mean, it's it seems intriguing. These new controllers, Sony just put out, a little patent or whatever concerning a new controller that is rumored to be the new DualShock for the PS5 that has a touch screen instead of, a touch panel. It's an actual screen. And I'm really curious to see how that works. I mean, can we play games on there? Is it just going to be a touch screen to do this stuff? I don't care about the touch screen stuff, but it's intriguing stuff. Is it going to be gimmicky? Is the PSVR going to survive through all this? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, but not extremely excited on my part. Curious to hear what you guys got to say. Drop a comment down below. Let me know. Are you a PlayStation fan? I love the PlayStation. I've been hooked since the PS1. I love it. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, man. I get so many damn people. Oh, I'm not taking your word for nothing. You're a Nintendo fanboy. How the hell am I a Nintendo fanboy just because I like Nintendo? I like Sony. I like Microsoft. I like all these companies. I have all the systems. I have tons of old school systems, not just Nintendo stuff. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy, damn it. I love Nintendo, though. Don't get me wrong. You'll never take that away from me, haters. I do love Nintendo, but I love these companies as well, and I'm really curious to see what they do. So smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sweet ass love to that notification bell. And with that said, guys, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom.